Hello, and welcome back to my face again, and some World of Tanks. This is on the common test. It's the 50B, and I'm going to show you what they have done to this tank if 1.2.1 comes out in the current format that it is on the common test. This tank is mental. You know, is it originally on the live server currently a good tank in the right hands? You have to be a skilled player, you have to know how to trade properly. You don't peek out, trade 1200 for your clip, you don't do that. You have to take one shot and you trade your clip. That's basically how you play this tank. It's a very high skill cap tank. However, this tank has just got even better in the hands of a good player. It has been buffed beyond hell with the new crew skills. And I'm going to show you two replays here. Two completely different types of replays. Two completely different maps. And you're going to see what this tank can do now that it's basically been buffed to all hell. It's, yeah, mental. So anyway, into this one. This first replay, it's proc. Typically 50B. You come over to this side probably. And I must say, I've never played the 50B on the live server. This is my first time playing the 50B, but from speaking to people, it's just become mental. It's scary. You're going to see. But basically, I'll show you my equipment at the end in more detail, but I'm running Bond Hardening, Bond Vents, Bond V-Stabs. Obviously, with the new Crew 2.0, if you run Vents, it buffs every single crew skill. So, Bond Vents have just become the best piece of equipment in my opinion. And I must say this game was played in the reactive game mode, so with the new reactive maps and plane crashes, train crashes, all that kind of bullshit. But I think that's going to be interesting, but I'm not too sure yet. That's something I'm going to probably give my opinion on in another video. But yeah, more onto this tank and this replay, basically. With the crew skills that I'm running, which I will give a full rundown of my crew skills at the end of this video, I've got a full-on table with all of the crew skills I have on this tank in roughly the order I think you should take them as well. But now, basically, the stats I've got onto this tank: 405 alpha with that RNG reduction and that slight increase to alpha, which is just great. You always want higher alpha and less flexibility, less fluctuations in your shot potential. I have the reload down to sub 27 seconds. I have the reload down to 26.92 seconds, which is incredible. Just simply incredible. Aim time, 2.05 seconds. It is ridiculous. 0.29 dispersion. We are talking SCRV levels of dispersion here with this tank. With all the crew skills I'm running on it, its dispersion is Leo-like, it is STRV-like, it is mental. And we've got the DPM up to 2,824. And I must say, this is with a fully tricked out crew. This is with basically a 9-skill crew. So it is fully tricked out with the new Crew 2.0 kind of stuff. But I must say it is broken. We've got the forward speed to 66 forward, 24 back. And the most important bit here, which I think is a game changer, is its view range. 489 meters view range. That's better view range than you can get on an EBR on the current live server. That is, well, equipment dependent and crew dependent. But this is mental, and it is going to allow you to do some pretty insane things, as I'm going to try and show you. But yeah, let's pause it here quickly, because this replay has gone past very quickly, and I've spoken a lot about this tank and about Crew 1.2.1. That update coming out in Crew 2.0, if you want to call it Crew 2.0. So let's just take a breather, take a step back, and just say my opinions on the update, because I can't show you this on the common test and say that the 50B has been buffed without giving my opinion upon it. I think this update is destroying the future of World of Tanks. And that is a bold statement, and that is a statement not only I have made, but other content creators, QB, Daki, have made. It is destroying, if it comes out in its current state, it will destroy the future of World of Tanks. It feels to me like a cash grab, a last minute cash grab before they try and kill the game off, trying to just milk every one of the last bits of their money before they quit. You know, you've got the St. Patrick's Day event, which has just gone. Why are we getting boxes in March? Boxes used to just be a Christmas only thing, and then they came at Halloween, and now they're coming at St. Patrick's Day. Why are we getting St. Patrick's Day boxes? And putting new tanks in behind them, the new Tier 8 Japanese TD. It really, really grinds a bone with me. But anyway, back to this update, because I'm going to sidetrack like I always do. But this update is going to break so many tanks. It is going to increase the skill difference between good players, average players, and new/worse players. If you're a good player and you've played for a long time, you're going to have maxed out crews already, which means you're going to have the ability to train a lot more of these crew skills. Average players, they're not. The new crew skill system is so complicated. It took me 30. I timed this, by the way. It took me 35 minutes to sort the crew skills out on this tank. And I'd say to myself, I'm a competent player. I understand all the crew skills. I've played for years. For a newer/average player, they're just not going to have any idea. There are that many new crew skills which are confusing, do different things, do similar things. They are just never going to get their head around it. And that increases the skill difference even further. You're going to have the really good players who are willing to put the time in to min-max their tanks because they might use them for competitive, for global map, campaigns, advances. And then you've got your worst players at the bottom, the lower echelon of players, which this update is just going to absolutely screw over. Hence, destroying the future of the game. They're not going to have high-skilled crews. They're going to maybe have 2-skilled crews. So we're talking, if they take Brothers in Arms first, then they've got Brothers in Arms and maybe repairs, or Brothers in Arms and a crew skill of their choice. But then they're going to be going up against people who are going to have 9-10 skill crews who are able to min-max their 50Bs like this. You know, these newer players are not going to have access to bond vents. They might not even understand the equipment properly. You know, they might use the correct equipment, but then you've got the further skill disparity between bond vents and normal vents, and bond vents increasing the ability to all crew skills more than what normal vents will. So you're just skill locking the ability to get better behind a paywall, which is disgusting in my opinion. You know, talk about the other areas of this update. You've got the World of Tanks Plus, this new subscription service where you can get yourself a new Tier 8 Premium on loan, and you get yourself gold per weekly. I'm less split on that. There's a lot of people who hate it, a lot of people who are like, yeah, it's good, but I'm kind of like, okay. If you need to make money, a subscription service like this is probably one of the less aggressive ways to do it. You know, they're locking some pretty disgusting stuff behind it, which I despise. That's the bit I don't like about it. The bond stuff, where you can remove all equipment basically for free. You don't have to pay the gold or the bonds anymore. I think that's wrong. I think that should just come into the game. Why should you have to earn the bonds to get a piece of equipment and then be basically locked to moving it around? Doesn't really make sense to me. It feels a little bit like just stealing, like punching you in the face. It really does. I don't get it. It really, really does hurt. But, you know, I can get the idea. It's less aggressive than other ways that they're doing it. However, the big thing I want to raise about this update, the retraining orders. They are giving you 12 retraining orders, which means you can retrain 12 crew members. Think about tanks which have 6 crew members on. You can retrain the whole crew of that tank, providing you get it right first time, by the way, and don't, you know, screw up and give the same skill to 2 different people. If you've got 2 radio operators and you duplicate up on skills, providing you get it right first time, you've got another 6 left. So you can do another tank, maybe 2 tanks if you're talking free skill crews. Free crewed tanks. Or, you know, on average, most crews have 4 people in, so you can do 3 tanks. That means you're going to have to pay gold to retrain the skills upon your tanks to min-max them, it's going to cost me an absolute fortune. For example, there are so many tanks that I want to play actively, to mark, to play in competitive, that I'm going to have to pay out my pocket to retrain those skills so that I am competitive. It is just a punch in the face, Wargaming, and I implore you to actually stop. I'm going to include in the bio of this a feedback form which Wargaming have hidden kindly so that you can't go give your feedback, so that they get themselves rigged answers, so that they can basically self-affirm that the update's good. Not my words, I'm taking these from another CC's mouth who will remain unnamed, but I will leave the feedback form. Please, I implore you to go fill it in. Check it out. It'll take you 5 minutes of your time, but it might help save the future of this game, because it really, really, really needs it. Anyway, back into the 50p. And my rant is over, so we'll go more into what the 50p is now capable of. And as you've seen in this game, it can snipe now, snipe in the mid from the hill. Its accuracy plays into that sniping thing. Its reload gives it great DPM nowadays, and its speed. You know, I'm going to show you a replay in a second where I think it will just highlight how Crew 2.0 is going to break vision, camo, and just tanks like this in general, in certain situations. But moving on to the end of this game, you know, we're going to basically clean up here. You know, our team basically won this pretty quickly. They lost 3 tanks to the new train crash thing, which is new thing, so people are trying to see if they can die to it and how it all works, which is okay. It's a common test, so I don't really care. But I think it could be annoying on the live server, is people just basically griefing by just going to go die. And I can see whole platoons of people just going to die in these reactive zones just to, you know, grief. But that's another thing for another day, and there are ways I think that could be tackled. But yeah, as I said, that's a thing for another day. But one of the things I do like from this update is the new little notifications when a crew skill activates. Like one of the new crew skills there, concentration activating, I got a little notification. That was kind of nice. You know, Deadeye is going to give you one. Intuition gives you one. Jack of all trades gives you one. And there's another one which I can't think of off the top of my head, but it's I can't remember. It'll come back to me in a second. But yeah. When you go down to the Adrenaline Rush, there we go. That's what it's called. But yeah. Let's go on to the next replay. And I'm going to show you what this tank can do in a very quick game, in a very stupid position. But yeah, let's go see that now. Anyway, moving on into this replay. You know, 50B. No light tanks. 14 players, common test. I think this was played at 2 AM UK time, because I am not an insomniac, but I just like to have a screwed up sleep schedule. So yeah, let's basically replay this, and you're going to see how mental this tank is. You know, I kind of hinted to it earlier with that, you know, view range, 489 meters, and this is with just vents, hardening, and V-stabs. We're not talking any optics on here. You know, if you really wanted to, you could put optics on this tank. You could probably take the V-stabs off nowadays and run optics if you wanted to. And you could probably get this up to 500 meters view range, which is insane. And as you're going to see here, I've taken a nice early aggressive position, and basically to try and punish the cross. We've got our 140 and Leo in the mid, and they should spot if anything decides to cross across the H line, basically. So I've come here you know, I'm in a 50B clip, put 1600 into them. But nothing particularly crosses, which is unfortunate. But as you're going to see here, I'm just kind of going to chill here a little bit, and, you know, I'm making a little bit of friends with our Curry here, or whatever it is, the Ho-Ri. Who turned out he's an ROD player, who I've had interactions with before, which is quite funny. Yeah, as you can see there, the concentration activating. And basically, I just get bored. I'm on the common test, so I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go try spot. And I spot a Super Conker 150, 200 meters through the bushes, and he just dies. Yeah. 2.1k spot, nice and early on. And, you know, I did get spotted for that, that's fine. And, you know, we block an STB and we take a badger shot, but one of the crew skills I'm running is I'm spotted for 1.5 seconds less. So I'm only spotted now for 8.5 seconds. So let me just knock some trees down. I should reload here, but there we go. So I'd probably take one less shot than I would have done. And, you know, I'm just going to sit up here and I'm going to be like, oh, I wonder what I can spot. A 140 at 400 meters. Yeah, real. Yeah, you know, he's not sat in any bushes. He's sat in the open, but I'm a 50B. I'm not a light tank. I am a 50B. And I spot a 140 at 400 meters. Yeah, I just spot an STB. And I'm sat here, by the way, and I'm not spotted doing this. You know, we're already up to 6k spotting, and we're less than 2 minutes 30 into the game. And I'm just like, at this point, you know what? I'm just going to go YOLO. Because why? What have I got to lose? It's a common test, and I'm like, I was going to go see what this tank can do. And I'm like, oh, Badger, cool. Now I take one for the Badger here, that's fine, whatever, and then one for the Ho-Ri. And I'm like, okay, cool. Let's just go drive in, track the Badger, track him again. And, you know, we'll just put another shot into him. And I tried to go past the Ho-Ri here, and, you know, I die. But I basically, as you're going to see, I finished this game considering I was alive for 3 minutes and 2 seconds with just shy of 10k combined. That might be one of the quickest ways to 10k combined ever. And this is with 14 tanks in this game, by the way. It is insane. This tank has now got ridiculous camo, ridiculous view range, and I think that's the most broken thing about this new crew update. The camo and the view range. They have just become so inflated, it is ridiculous. And you know, you could say, oh, well, if camo goes up and view range goes up, doesn't it counteract? But no, because you've got to have the crew skills in order for it to counteract. So you're going to have to play against somebody who has got identical crew skills to you for it to basically be an even playing field. And, well, obviously assuming the tank space stats are the same as well. But there's that many new crew skills now that, and it's that many of them, and there's so many as crew members now which have become so important that have got so many crew skills on, as you're going to see in a second when I show you the crew skills I'm running on this, that it's going to be probably less than 1 out of 10 times you're going to come across somebody who is going to have identical skills to you, so is going to have view range boosted at the same rate that your camo is, so they're likely to spot you at the same amount as they would currently on the live server. But most of the time, you're going to come up against people who, you know, are just running the standard view range perks. We're not talking about the new ones now. And if you're running your 50B with the crew skills like this, you're just going to outspot people and not be spotted. It's insane. It really, really is insane. And I implore you, Wargaming, to please take a step back and just look at how the community have received this update. Not just the people who pay you, not just the people who line your pockets with literal gold, but the people who actually just love this game and have played this game for years. Because they're the people you're currently screwing over. And they're the reason why your game is still alive. No matter how many people you have that pay, this game would not still be alive if you didn't have the community, the friends that people have made along the way in it, and just the people who just love this game for what it is, because there is no other game like this. So I implore you, Wargaming, to please just stop and look and actually listen to the community, because they're telling you and you just seem to not be listening. And we had so much hope for you at the start of this year. You know, you said you're going to be keeping us up to date with the developments. You're going to bring out these new development progress videos. You know, you did this big video at the start of the year telling us what's coming throughout the year. And, you know, we had hope. And you've just gone back on. You built up a little bit of trust just to chop it down and just dig yourself a hole. But there is a chance for you to turn this around. Listen to the community's feedback. Implement the good parts of this update that you've come up with. You know, the activation perks when you can see when they've activated. But please do not continue with Crew 2.0 in its current way in update 1.2.1. That's all I have to say, really. You know, I just used the 50B as a template to basically pass on my views upon the update, and also to show you how broken it has become now, especially in the hands of a good player. But I feel like anybody, if they have these amount of perks, can do really well in this tank. And I would not be shocked if this tank becomes a 5.5, potentially 6k DPG tank in the hands of a good player. So that's all I have to say. I'm going to show you the crew skills, the equipment, and the field mods I ran on this tank in this video. Yeah, as I said once again, the link for the feedback form is going to be in the bio. Please go give that a fill out. It'd be much appreciated. It does so much for the community because they have to listen to that. Not if they don't, but that is our way of telling them that we do not like what this update is. And yeah, please put a little bit of time into that. And yeah, please put your thoughts in the comments because I will respond to every single comment. I will read them all and I will answer your questions. I will answer your concerns and I will try and voice your concerns because I'd like to think I have a little bit more of a platform with my stream and knowing quite a lot of people within the community. So yeah, please just pass your concerns on to me. But yeah, I shall see you all soon. And yeah, keep watching the advanced videos, keep watching the campaign videos, and yeah, I shall see you all soon. Bye.